Hey, so this is some of the skills and techniques that you're going to need to pass your kayaking British paddle sport instructor qualification. The first thing that this qualification requires is you need to be able to inspect and equip participants with safe gear. So the first thing that a participant in kayaking is going to need is a kayak paddle. Kayak paddles should come to about a foot and a half above a participant's head. You need to make sure that the kayak paddle is the right size for the participant so that they have enough space to paddle through the water. Before handing these out, you should check that there are no cracks on the blade, you should check that the pole is not bent in any way, and just make sure that there's nothing that's going to endanger any of the participants when you're out in the water. Now, the second thing you're going to need to equip the participants with is a buoyancy aid, or a BA as we like to call it. When checking these, you want to make sure that there are no rips on any of the fabrics. Make sure that these should be safety checked by your centre's safety instructor. If you see any issues, you should report it straight away. You want to make sure that there are no frays or rips on any of the straps, because that will cause it to become loose. And then you want to get, as soon as you've made sure that that buoyancy aid is safe, you want to get it on your participant. So here's my lovely participant. Do you want to just put that on? Nice. Then you want to show them how you tie them up. So these straps on the side, I'm going to show them how to pull those nice and tight. And then they should be able to do the other side by themselves. There we go. Some of these buoyancy aids will come as jackets, most of them come as vests or pullovers like this, whatever you want to call them. If you just want to tighten up those ones there, mate. Nice, you want to make sure those are nice and tight around their waist. You then want to move on to the shoulder straps. You want to make sure those are nice and tight, and to do a little check to make sure that it's all on properly. Just do that to make sure it doesn't move anywhere, that way you know it's nice and safe in place. You want to make sure that it's nice and tight around the chest, but it doesn't restrict the participants' breathing in any way. So yeah, that's all we... Okay, so the next skill that you're going to need to be able to pass your British paddle sport qualification is you need to be able to get participants afloat and check the boats to make sure they're safe. So the first thing you want to do is a quick spot check of the boat. This can be done before the start of the session or as you're getting the boats on. You want to make sure there are no deep scratches either on the top of the boat or on the bottom. You want to make sure there are obviously no holes or anything. You then want to get the boat ready for the participants to get in. So the only thing you really need to do for this is you need to check that the pedals are the appropriate height. So you can teach your participants how to do this. You see the two pedals at the back. Those need to be the right length so that a participant can put pressure on it whilst bending their knee. This will give them more stability when they're in the kayak. And yeah, that's the only thing that you need to do to get them ready for this. You also need to make sure that everything in the cockpit's okay, everything's strapped on, nothing's broken, there are no holes in anything. And yeah, that's about it. Then all you can do is get your participant in their kayak, give them their paddle, simply grab the back and push them into the water. Simple as that. Okay, so the next skill you're going to need to get your British paddle sport qualification is you're going to need to be able to kayak, paddle both forwards, backwards and to the side and turn in a kayak. Then you need to going to be able to teach that to the participants that will be in your sessions. So, first thing is forward paddling. The way you forward paddle is you go in one side, keep it nice and tight close to the boat, which will keep you straight. Pull it all the way out to the back, pull it out, twist the paddle slightly and stick it in the other side and repeat the same process. So it should look a little something like this. Pretty straightforward. The next thing you need to be able to do is turn. Actually, the next thing you need to be able to do is go backwards. Now the easiest way to do this, some will say that you should turn your paddle. This is actually false. It's easier if you just keep your paddle straight. It's the same as going forward, except in reverse. Like so. Easy enough. Okay, the next thing you're going to need to be able to do is you need to be able to turn. Now, the way you want to do this is you want to bring the paddle out and you want to go round like you're trying to push water over the back of your boat. So, it should look something like this. Start the front, big long sweep round, over the back of the boat. If you want to, you can carry on and go 180 degrees. Easy enough. Now, the final thing you need to be able to do is you're going to need to be able to paddle sideways. There are a few ways of doing this. The first way is the scoop. Simply put your paddle in like this and pull the water towards you, much like a scoop. You can push it in, turn it to the side and pull it out. Will make it easier for it to come out of the water. That's one way of doing it. The other way is sculling. Now this is a little bit harder, but you simply stick your paddle in and you sort of pull the water towards you whilst pulling it from side to side, and it'll bring you closer towards the side. Now, the next thing you'll have to be able to do is lead a familiarization activity. This means getting your participants familiar with the canoe or the kayak, in this case kayaks. So you're going to need to be able to teach them those skills that I've just demonstrated, the forward, backward, left and right. You can then put them into like a game scenario or something. The one I like to do is water polo. So you have a couple goals set up, you have two teams of kayakers. They can use the paddles or they can use their hands, depends on how hard you want to make it. They can use the paddles to bounce the ball up and then hit the ball up and down. This will get the participants to be a bit more competitive, which will lead them to use the skills a bit better. They'll use it more and then they'll eventually realise they'll do it without even realising. So that's another skill that you're going to need to pass your qualification. Okay, so the next skill you're going to need to pass your qualification is you're going to have to be able to rescue both kayaks and canoes from your kayak. So the main thing that you need to remember when doing this is the participant's safety. You need to make sure that they're okay. You need to make sure if they can swim, so at the start of the session find out who can and can't swim. Keep a mental note of that, that'll be really useful. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that they're safe. If they fall in a kayak like this and they don't come back up, they could be stuck. So what you want to do is you want to either get beside it, grab it on the top and pull it over like this. If they're a bit heavier, then you can jump out of your canoe, put your feet on this side or your kayak, put your feet on this side, grab the other side with your arms, and in one motion push with your legs, pull with your arms, and it will flip them back on top. But your main priority is making sure that they're breathing, they're conscious and that they're safe. If it's a cold day, you want to make sure that they get to the side as quick as they can so they don't catch hypothermia. If it's a warm day, then you can get away with having them hold on to either the front or the back of your canoe or your kayak whilst you're rescuing their boat. So, the way you do this is, as soon as you're sure that the participant is safe, you want to do what we like to call the T rescue or the T method. So you want to get in front of the canoe or the kayak, so it looks like a T, like so, and then simply all you want to do, hoist the side of the kayak onto the side of your kayak, twist to break the seal of air, which will make it easier for you to move on top, and then pull the boat on top of yours like that. Get as much of the water out as you possibly can, then twist, and then you can get them back in and you can get them back going again. But your main priority is making sure that they're safe. So the next rescue you're going to have to do is you're going to have to be able to rescue a canoe whilst in a kayak. Now this is the same applies as it did for rescuing a kayak with a kayak. You need to make sure the participant is safe, get them to the side if they're cold, get them to hold on to your kayak if they're good and they can swim. But your main priority is making sure that all the participants come back up after the canoe goes down. Make sure they're safe. As soon as you know they're safe, you can then move on to rescuing the canoe. So you do this similarly to the kayak, is the T method, or the T rescue. Get yourself to either end of either the bow or the stern of the canoe. Get alongside it. You want to then grab underneath, and you want to twist to break the seal, the air seal. This will make it lighter, and the water will begin to drain. You may have to turn on your kayak a bit. Hang on. It's a little bit tougher doing a kayak to a canoe rescue, but you want to be able to pull it up like so. The further you pull it up, the more water is going to come out. You might not be able to get all of the water out in a kayak, but it's certainly worth a try. As soon as you get it to about the halfway point, flip it and push it back in, just like so. As you can see, there's a little bit of water in this. This isn't that bad. If it becomes that bad, take it to the side and empty it. You can then get your participants back in, knowing that they're safe and sound, and you can continue with your session. And that's all there is to it.